Hello, welcome to Chatting Ball with Sam and Ahmed. This week we've got special guest Marcel, Polish wannabe football scout. I guess I can call you a football scout. Actual football scout. And Polish, obviously. Yeah. So I want to start off. England versus Poland, international break.
That's a big game. Harry Kane versus Lewandowski, two arguably the best strikers.
Biggest international break we've had for a while. There's lots.
It is for me. It's especially, we last time played you. I think it was 2014. We lost, obviously. But yeah, for me personally, it's a big thing. So yeah.
Do you think your team has developed since then? Last time we played each other?
Definitely. I mean, we've been to the World Cup, the Euros, yeah, Lewandowski's a different player than back then, and we've got a few more additions. So, yeah, definitely.
I mean, Lewandowski's obviously stepped on leaps and bounds. He was a great player before, and now he's probably the best in the world.
Yeah,
I heard a story about Robert Lewandowski. Apparently, his parents named him Robert because they knew he was going to be different. It was a traditional Polish name or something like that.
Yeah.
And so when you name like that, he's pretty bloody
unique,
isn't he? You know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously with the comparison, with the English media we grew up with, it's that difference between Harry Kane and Robert Lewandowski. It's always like Batman v Superman of the football world.
Yeah,
really. It's going to be quite.
They always get compared, don't they? And I think it's only because they both play as a lone striker. Like realistically, they aren't that similar.
No.
Like Harry Kane drops into midfield a lot more.
Yeah.
And he is great at passing. I know Spurs fans say it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's great at passing. He's the best striker in the world because he can pass. But yeah, and then Lewandowski's obviously a goal hanger.
Yeah.
Not a goal hanger, a finisher.
Finisher. He's
every shot he takes goes in, basically.
He lives and breathes goals. I mean, for Bayern Munich, I think he could just go on the pitch by himself, get Neuer in net probably. And, I think they could win.
I mean, the big story in Poland right now, because I don't know if you've seen it. There's questions of whether he'll play.
Yeah.
And it's again because of the quarantine rules, and I think he has to quarantine for 14 days if he goes to England. So. That's a big topic everyone's talking about in Poland right now.
I guess he's got to go back to Germany, hasn't he?
Yeah, so it's all up to Bayern really and what they say. So.
Well, hopefully they'll let him play because obviously as well, international football can be a bit boring when it's not super competitive. You know what I mean? So that type of element adds to it.
And you think about the group that we're in, both of us. This is probably we'll decide who finishes first and who's qualified to go.
Exactly. And
it's a big game.
I think at the time of recording this, I don't think Gareth has released his.
No, he hasn't.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Pickford's out.
Yeah.
So
whichever way you look at it, might be positive, might be negative.
I think we've got a Baggies fan here.
Sam Johnson.
Do you think he should start for England?
Maybe not start, but definitely get a call.
You think he should be in the squad on the plane for England?
See, it's hard, but I'd say he would. I'll say you look at it. I think maybe even the third keeper. Technic Pope and then obviously Pickford number one. But I'll definitely out of the third keeper, I'll definitely take him. Yeah.
The problem I think England have got with the keeper spots is everyone's pretty much the same ability.
Yeah.
There's people like Dean Henderson who's not really kicked on from last season. He's all still probably rating the same. People like Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, like Tom Heaton's from a couple of years ago. They're all around that mid-range. None of them are top class keepers. None of them are awful.
Yeah. And I don't think I can't remember last time. It was always a thing really for the last 20 years. You never really had a world class keeper, was it really?
No, I remember going to tournaments. Well, the other day they had Robert Green on Monday Night Football and him talking about what he did against Clint Dempsey in America.
He was basically a mid-table.
Yeah.
He was a mid-table goalkeeper, wasn't he?
I mean, the thing that, as me as watching someone like England, the key thing we have now is depth. It's amazing to see how much lineup we can have. We don't have
depth a couple of positions.
Exactly.
If we're playing five at the back, we've not got no depth at centre back.
No. But obviously, I think Maddison's still injured. Grealish is still injured. Those are two big blows. I think those are two players. I think I really wanted to see in England shirts against you lot.
I think this international break will really give people who are on the fringes of the squad a chance to really push into.
Yeah, exactly. And say,
really make a claim for that spot. And
and obviously me supporting a Big Six club, obviously Man United won on the weekend in the most boring game I've ever seen. I watched the cricket yesterday, I thought that was more interesting. But obviously with that is obviously with Gareth being his Big Six bias, obviously it depends who he picks. If he goes for top six players, I don't think he'll get the same results. I think if he looks at depth and stuff like that, if he picks a few lesser lads, Villa lads, he could get a good team.
Leicester are in the top six, aren't they?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's one name that has to be etched on permanent marker at left back, and that's Luke Shaw. He deserves a call up.
Think over Gillo?
Miles over Gillo. Miles over. I'll tell you right now, Miles. Oh, miles. I mean, I like Cresswell. Don't get me wrong. I think he's really underrated. However, this left back position now in England's somewhat become competitive. Like growing up when we were younger, the only left back that was good for me from England that came to mind was Ashley Cole. That was the only one, or Cashley Cole, depending if you're an Arsenal fan. That was the only one. And now we're dealing with they got a lot of depth. I think Chilwell for me personally. I don't know. I mean,
he's not improved this season, has he?
No.
I think Luxor's been far more consistent this season, and you look at what he's done at City. He had a superb game. Yeah, he's just been consistent. I think he deserves to be.
And I mean, he's keeping out Alex Telles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as big as praise as you can get as a left back. Because he's keeping out Alex Telles. Alex Telles last season was maybe one of the best top 3 left backs in the world, wasn't he?
I think he's doing the Man United effect, probably the same thing that happened to Di
An
Maria.
underrated transfer flop, really.
Yeah,
looking to
I don't know where he is at the moment.
He's looking to leave, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently wants to leave, but I don't know who's going to have him after such a poor season.
I know, and then obviously it's just terrible. I mean, for me personally, I feel like Ollie doesn't have a say in transfers. I feel like, again, we talked about this before. Short-term solutions for long-term problems.
Yeah, that might be why Ollie's still there, though.
Yeah.
Everyone, well, not anymore, but last year people were like, is he good enough? Is he really good enough? But, I mean, if he's allowing the board to sign who they want, and he's still getting the results, I mean, this year he's getting the results.
Yeah, we're second, aren't we?
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Do you think you can win trophies with Ollie?
We to very
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think we could. I think, next season, if we carry on building and developing, we need to get rid of just that Marcel. We need a solid striker. You said it to me the other day, and it's actually in my mind. If we didn't get rid of Lukaku, where could we be? We could be doing really, really well because that's what we struggle in.
Who was it who claimed Lukaku was the best striker in the world this week? Someone claimed he was. It might have been Conte.
Yeah.
And he said Lukaku's the best striker in the world. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah. I mean, what he's doing...
needed a club that played to his strengths.
Exactly. That's a Polish person now. I want to agree with that.
Larry Dust.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd agree with that.
I wouldn't.
But maybe if
probably best striker in Serie A.
If it go and win something this season, maybe he's in that conversation. But, I mean, I can't put him up there yet. He was good for Everton. It was good for West Brom, wasn't it?
Yeah,
West Brom
was great.
It's still in his career.
Fans still love him, really. Yeah.
I mean, he thanks a lot of his thing to Steve Clark, doesn't he? Because of what he did.
He's got.
Well, you really played to his strengths, didn't you?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what talking about strengths. That's what Man United kind of do. They kind of take 2 steps forward and 1 step back most of the time. We sign players that enter the competition like Telles, who probably bring the best out of the show. However, we need a young, exciting striker who's probably going to be a prospect. Maybe Haaland, I don't think he'll join. I don't think we have a chance of going Haaland.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous paper talk.
No, I think it's awful. I think it's terrible research. It's like DMing Kim Kardashian asking for a day and thinking, oh well, I messaged her. You're not going to get that day.
Breaking it. Oh yeah, I've been in a DM.
No, you're not going to get it, and that's Haaland for us. Yeah, that Kim K probably. Terrible analogy, I know, but that's it.
You do love a good analogy.
Yeah, I do love him. But we're not going to get him anytime soon, and we might have to look at that. Greenwood for me potentially could be a guy going forward. However, he's like a jigsaw piece that gets just shoved in to right wing.
Well,
and he's not a winger. He's not.
Greenwood's not pushed on at all.
No,
and I don't. Obviously not now. I can't see him. I see how he develops, but I can't see him scoring 20 goals.
I can't see him becoming a 20 goal.
Yeah, you want to work in that type of football agent scoring thing. Do you think he should go out on loan? Do you think to someone like who needs to score goals in the Championship? You know what I mean?
It depends. I mean, if you're gonna,
when we get promoted at the end of the season, we're gonna need some actual talent. Like this season, it's worked well. We've just got really talented wingers. We're probably the best team League One's ever seen. Like realistically, and we've started playing like the best team League One's ever seen. We've started winning trophies, EFL trophy, best trophy in the world.
Papa John's, isn't it?
Well, Papa John's
trophy. Fighting Rob Deadlock,
exactly.
I saw a photo of that. I think I sent it to you. Where apparently the trophy actually arrived on a scooter.
Oh really?
Papa John's
they had to take it off Salford the night before, so they could disinfect it for 24 hours.
I thought that was pretty lame. Like surely they could have made 2, but I don't know. Maybe old Papa didn't have enough money. He could have done a 2-for-1 meal deal.
The prize for winning the trophy is not much at all. It's not like 50 grand.
But hey, it's silverware for a club, and that's what I mean. As a football fan, that's what you want to see.
It really helps. It really helps us. We've overcome that Wembley curse. We haven't won there for nearly 50 years. I think it's 48 years since we've won there, and like we've finally won. Yeah, and we're in great form at the moment. We're looking like we're going up the table. We're not going down the table. It looks like automatic.
I think from as far as I've seen last time, I think if you win your games in hand, we go second
if we win our games in hand.
You've got that new owner / chairman who's a bit maverick and he calls himself a maverick.
Yeah, well, everyone in the media seems to love him. I'm not sure.
I think
I'll see. I'm waiting on my
skeptical of it.
I just can't see it. He's got no experience, but I'm hoping that, he'll pump loads of money in.
You've got Lee Johnson as well, he knows how to get out.
Yeah, Lee Johnson. Yeah, so he's top quality. He's been brilliant for us so far.
I think something will push on pretty well. I mean, obviously the championship has been interesting in itself. I mean, we're talking about Barnsley.
Yeah, Barnsley.
Where did they come from? Is someone playing? Is God playing real life FIFA forever? Where did they come from?
I know it's like they've got some random manager. I'll have all these three and they'll all perform perfectly.
I know, and it's crazy. And then obviously, I think Bournemouth are slowly
dropping down.
Which is strange. I mean,
lots
of people expected Bournemouth to go straight back up, didn't they? Yeah. At the start of the season, but
I think Norwich are going to break that yo-yo record of most teams getting relegated.
Yeah.
I think just with them, again, it'll be interesting for you to add your part on that, Marcel, being a West Brom fan. It's like, what can clubs do? What can they do? Because when Norwich come up, when Norwich come up, they look pretty promising. They cruise, they're in cruise control. When say it's Christmas and Championship, and then they come up to the Premier League. They always do this weird thing on 5 games. They look amazing.
Puppy
I think the first game was against Liverpool, and that was Liverpool's title-winning season. They looked like they could compete. And
they could play the ball,
we all knew that Liverpool side was probably the best in the country, and they got beat 4-1, but they didn't look like they were being outplayed.
And then it's like all of a sudden the heat turns up and they start crumbling, and I don't really get what happens. I mean, with you lot, I think a lot of football experts just put West Brom in the mixer because they thought they'd go down. Yeah, and I think potentially you might still fight.
It looks like it's on the cards, isn't it?
I mean, I think even the fan base, I think even the most delusional fans know that. So Big Sam, I don't think he's got a fire anymore. I think he took it maybe but I think I can't see us staying up. No.
But then, what do you think you have to do to when you do come back up? Because you will come back up in hopefully years.
Hopefully we'll go straight back up.
And what do you have to do to stay up?
I think you look at Villa, and the most important thing is surviving the first season. Yeah. Same happened with us, in the late 10s. We was a yo-yo club as well, and then we stayed up one season, and we carried on for 8 seasons. I think the first season, and you look at Villa now, where they are now after they just survived. So I think the most crucial part is surviving the first season, and then getting your players around with that big Premier League money and stuff like that. So I think that's the most important
part. I can tell there's going to pay when you have to say that we're doing well.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's one of them ones. I think it's always weird, like when you see clubs like that. I really personally want to see Brentford in the Prem. I want to see Ivan Toney in the Prem this season.
Ivan Toney will send for a Prem club if Brentford don't come up.
Yeah.
I think he came through the ranks at Newcastle, which I mean that'll hurt me dearly if Newcastle can finally get a decent striker. But I mean, I can see a return to Newcastle. They need a striker.
Well, could Newcastle go down? Sorry,
yes, of course it could.
I think they're really falling into it.
Fulham
are up.
They look all right. They look like they're going to put at least a couple of results together. Do Newcastle not really?
No.
Do Newcastle look like? I mean, I think they got a point last week.
Scrappy point.
Yeah. Very, very dull draw against Villa, I think.
They drew against Southampton, which is one of the points. Exactly. So they don't seem like they can buy a win right now. So they're definitely in the
conversation, aren't they? Yeah. And Fulham look good. Yeah. I mean, it looks like Sheffield United are down because sacking Chris Wilder is awful.
Again, it goes back to what I want to say. I think owners just in wherever they are on their yachts in Monaco or wherever they're quarantined, they don't really watch it, and then they hear the results are bad.
I don't think they understand football.
No,
they're businessmen.
Yeah,
businesswomen. I mean, we're not sexist here. But they don't understand that it's more than just appoint someone new and you start putting results together. We saw that when they fell apart against Leicester because they just did.
Yeah.
They didn't play like a Premier League team at all. I mean, if Chris Wilder was that glue that's keeping that squad together, and you get rid of Chris Wilder,
then the team's gone. The dressing room's gone.
We can see that they're not a Premier League side already this season.
Yeah.
And then you get rid of the one thing that might make you a Premier League side.
And you look at it, you know, you can say that they're probably building, you know, for the next season the Championship. But you look at even Bournemouth, you know, Bournemouth's sacked Eddie Howe, look where they are now, and then look at Norwich, just keep the manager.
Burnley kept Sean Dyche anyway.
And what he done at Chris Wilder, you know, from League One straight to the Premier League, and they was fighting for Europe, you know.
Exactly.
So it's.
If they were going to come back up next season, Chris Wilder's the man to do it. I mean, who are they going to get, really?
It's like football club owners.
With Eddie Howe, maybe?
And the thing is that the players that they have now, they're bought in for Chris Wilder's style. Exactly. So that five at the back, you know. So it will be a task for them to go straight back.
But it's like football club owners, just wherever they are, have that big red button and they just press it instantly, sack, and everything they build is gone. I mean, for me, I think your owners with Bilic, right? I think Bilic thought he could come up and play the same type of football. I could be wrong.
With the same players, I think that was a big mistake for me because he thought, you know, the likes of Kronovic and you know, Grant they brought in. I think all of his. I looked at it the other day. All of his signings, other than Matty Pereira and Conor Gallagher, they don't play anymore in the starting lineup, you know. And look at Big Sam, he has brought in the right players, but it's just too little, too late, really.
I mean, next season though, if you can keep Diagne, Diagne looks really quite good.
I think the move to Premier League was a bit too soon for him. I think
he's quite old though. He's 28 or something.
Yeah.
He spent his whole career in Turkey, hasn't he? He signed from Galatasaray. And he had a great season last season in Turkey. I don't know how competitive the Turkish league is. I don't know if either of you.
I think he was top goal scorer.
I think he was.
Top goal scorer.
I don't watch.
I don't
watch
really
any Turkish leagues.
I don't for about 5 years. In Premier League Turkey as well, they pay a good amount of you know in Turkey. So I don't think he'll fancy because we only got him on loan. So I don't think he'll like fancy Championship, but you never know.
Well, he could carve himself out of a career in the Premier League. Quite easily. Like a Denver Bar, he did it.
And he's a cult hero, obviously. Everyone was influenced it. I love him for it.
Exactly.
You know, it's just one of them ones, and I think it just comes back to that. Like, I think football club owners sometimes don't really know what they're doing, or that they pretend to be football people. Like we all saw that All or Nothing with Spurs. I know Levy's the owner, I know he's the chairman, but him talking about football is like me and my mum when I talk about football, you know? She's like, oh, he played well. Like, and Mourinho's me going, I'm not saying Mourinho, but he's like, yeah, I know, like, let me do the... But then again, it's that mutual respect. I'll do the football side and you do the business side, right? Don't try and mix each other. Whereas when Sunday Until I Died documentary, season 2, I think, with that guy who wanted to add that beats to the... make your stadium a nightclub in Ibiza.
Charlie Meth then.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. Like, it's the weirdest thing I've seen. I've never had anyone go...
He goes, we need a bit more upbeat music than this. It's like, we've walked out to this song for 10 years. What do you mean we need more upbeat?
You do got to say, it was a bit dull. It was like going to...
I mean, that's not the song's fault. That's the very poor speaker system we've got pictures in it.
I don't know. Yeah, like that. So then he tries to be a footballer and all that. But you can tell he's a kid, probably went to Harrow private school and stuff like that. Probably thinks that how you shape a ball is like a rugby ball. Doesn't even know the sport. Not saying that. I could be wrong, but it's like that. So when you've got people who don't really have that mutual understanding, I think your football club's just doomed. I think Sheffield United's owners are rich Saudi though.
Rich Saudis,
but you think he'd be able to pump some money into it and do what?
Well, I think the discussion with Sheffield United was that when Chris Wilder got sacked, well, he didn't get sacked, did he? He left by mutual consent because he's a Sheffield lad. He grew up in Sheffield. He's a Sheffield United fan. And he's basically in his dream job. Unless he was going to go and get maybe the England job. And his dream job's probably Sheffield United. And the problem he had was that he fell out with the board because they wanted to bring him director of football.
Okay.
So he
wanted more control, I guess.
So he obviously his signings haven't worked out that great this season. He spent 20 mil on Ollie McBurney. He spent 25 on Ryan Brewster. And neither of them, I don't think they've got 3 goals between them this season.
That was a big struggle for Sheffield. They play alright, but they don't score.
They come with the ball in back again.
And I think that's the issue with Chris Wilder and the board. They've fallen out because Chris Wilder wants to continue being in charge of signings. And the board want to bring in director of football. It's more the business side. They work like together, but Chris Wilder's in charge of the playing. He's in charge of the signings. And he makes shrewd signings for maybe 10 million rather than Ryan Brewster, who everyone expected to play quite well. I mean, it was the next stage in his career, wasn't it? He played well for Swansea in the Championship. Surely the next stage is
a struggling Premier League.
Well, a mid-table Premier League side is what they were. What they were last season, and then this season they've
And you look at the director of football and the old-fashioned ways, you know, like Chris Wilder, Big Sam, Tony Pulis. You know, they want to be in control of everything. They want to be a coach, not a head coach. And the new style of, you know, ruling a club is the director of football, and everyone's going towards that. You know, you can say this is better, but who knows? You know?
All the top clubs have a director of football, and I think the only one I can think of this season that's having a good season is West Ham. David Moyes is still in charge of the transfers at West Ham, and he buys players that suit his style, like Tom Souček. I mean, he's playing that Fellaini role. He buys a total 6'5" defensive midfielder and puts him into attacking midfield, and they're always great.
And then I think City have a director of football. I mean, before we go, I just want to talk about how good City are this season, because it pains me to say it hurts me physically, it hurts me mentally. They just look too good. But for me personally. Obviously, we talked about it last week. I still think they're going to win the Champions League. I think personally it's going to be between them or Bayern Munich. I think they'll get there and they'll win it. I can see PSG kind of putting their hands into the ballot, but I think it's going to be an overall win for Man City. I think because Pep's gone set out in this way, and De Bruyne's goal yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's something out of this world. I mean, he's looking back
City
and forth,
winning without strikers as well. Imagine if City had a striker like Haaland. I mean, they're heavily rumoured with Haaland, heavily rumoured with Lukaku. Are they going to push on next season? Are they going to be even better next season?
I think they might go for the strike, because you look at, you know, Aguero's
leaving, isn't it?
So
he's been linked with Barcelona I think he's been linked back to Argentina as well, but who knows?
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, Pep can afford. Like when Pep first came, I kind of respected him a bit. When we all saw Joe Hart. If you ask any kid, 2012, when did he join? 2015, 2016, 17. What do you think of Joe Hart? Everyone will probably say the same thing. Great keeper.
Best keeper in the league.
Best keeper in the league. Well, last in damage here, but we know. But makes occasional mistakes, but overall good keeper. My England number one. Joe Hart, Pep comes and benches him and says, "You're not playing my style."
He did come from a really poor Euros though.
I think everyone from that England team. I mean, getting beaten for the population of my local town, and a guy who makes adverts in goal. Like, what the hell? He was drinking L'Oreal. But then going into, I don't know. But with that, it looked poor for everyone. And I think Pep saw that and said, you clearly can't play with your feet. I think he said that in the interviews, that he's just clearly a shot stopper. And then I laughed at that, thinking, what do you mean?
Well, you're not being real. He's been your best keeper you've ever had.
He's not going to make no one's going to go like, can you ping it 40 yards from me? Like, because you're a keeper. But then, with that he brought in Claudio Bravo, biggest flop I think I saw in that City team, to be fair.
It wasn't great, but was Claudio Bravo any worse than that Joe Hart?
No, that's
Joe Hart scoring in the Euros, probably not. But Joe Hart that we've seen for a couple of seasons before, maybe.
And then obviously, they bring in Edison, and now it's changing. And I think his ways of football, for me personally, are looking amazing. Like, I hate to say it, but they're looking really good. Like, it takes time for them to process, but he looks okay, because his first season, I don't think he did that well, did he?
I don't think he won it.
I don't know. I mean, I think we just edged in, but he didn't look great. And then obviously now they just look amazing. Like Gundogan, for instance. For me, if you told me this season before he was going, I was like, he's just a bench warmer.
I mean, we've seen it though. We saw it in Germany. What, 2013? When he was at Borussia Dortmund under Klopp, and he was probably the best midfielder in the league that season. And we know he's got the ability, he's just always injured. So everyone's sort of forgotten that he had this ability. And then this season he's back to normal. He's back fully fit. It looks like he's got no niggling injuries anymore, and he's returning.
He's scoring on all sides. It's just crazy, and I think for them personally, they've won the league now. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I mean, there's no way. If we win it, I'll give you both 50 quid. That's what it is. But I don't think we'll be, because obviously we're terrible against small teams. I think I knew the dream was gone when we drew against Everton when we were like 3-0 up, 2-0 up, and then we ended up drawing. that sucked, but it's just one of them ones. You know what I mean? I think Man City are perhaps the best team in Europe at the moment. I want to see what you guys say
the
about that.
thing with Man City, and you see, look at that when you came second, when they just demolished the league, and then they just can't get over the hump. They lost against Tottenham, I think. That season, was it? I think Monaco. Although Monaco, that was a great side. They got knocked out there. Last year, it was Lyon, I think.
Yeah, Lyon knocked them out.
So when you look at who they got knocked out by, they're not great teams. They're not Bayern, PSG, you know what I mean? And so it's just, and you look at Pep, he's definitely looking for that Champions League because he has won it since Barcelona time. So I think, and you look at it, and they're still in quadruple rate, they still do it. So, but I think his top priority is the Champions League. And I think if he can get over the hump, and
I think he's quite comfortable with where he is in the league. I think he knows he's going to keep getting them points. And he's what, 12 points ahead?
Against Fulham,
12 points ahead.
12 points.
And like 12 points, are you going to catch 12 points really? Like he can lose a couple of games and against league by 6.
Don't look like losing, that's don't do that.
I know Fulham are down in the relegation battle and stuff like that, but he afforded to bench, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 of his starting 11.
He benched all his best players. Benched Gundogan, best De Bruyne, benched Foden and Sterling. It was like Jesus, Bernardo and Mahrez. It's like
still cruised to 3-0.
And I think they really broke a sweat. That's what I mean. Like, they are the best team in England. Obviously, with Europe, it depends because, like Marcel said, it depends if they can take out a Goliath. They still haven't took out there. It's not they haven't had a David and Goliath.
They will have one difficult game in the Champions League. It's whether they can overcome that. They can't in previous seasons, but this season maybe with no fans especially. I mean, City used to play with no fans. So.
And then obviously. We talk about Champions League before we go. I think it's also great that you mentioned the more equal important UEFA competition that we are in, which is the Europa League. I think we're going to be out on Thursday. I think AC are going to knock us out. I'm being confident.
That massive
away goal. And obviously that was like AC Milan's B team. That was BC Milan, not AC Milan. And then now, obviously, can we do it? I don't think so. I mean, obviously a lot of people are criticising Dean Henderson for that mistake. Kessier's goal, thank God for VAR, that should have stood. Honestly, the game should have been dead by then.
Kessier reminds me of Yaya Toure. What a player. I've never seen him play live before. I've always just sort of seen clips of him and stuff, but what a player. He was great. He really was.
Look at that handball, June the 1st, that's not
that stands.
I don't understand that. Why don't you just put that handball rule? I know it's during the season, but
before June the 1st, you're not allowed to handball it. After June the 1st,
Go on, do what you want. But that's what I mean. I think it's just that as well. I think for Europa League, I only watch Man United, the occasional Spurs games, so I don't really know who's in there. But I think even that's kind of I think that's Inter's to lose.
The Europa League last 4. Inter went out, didn't they?
Napoli, another big
until you get to the last 4 in the Europa League, no one really knows who's in it. There's always teams like Granada in it. And Granada any good?
I don't know.
Arsenal,
maybe.
Arsenal's
still
good. I mean,
Martin Odegaard started firing out.
And again, Arsenal took it to Spurs. I told people believe in Arteta, and I think it's finally paying off. You bench Aubameyang, your best player. That's risky.
It is risky, but it shows that he's meaning business. He's not having any of it.
He had to do it because he wants to show that he has the authority.
And that's what I mean.
I mean, Lacazette was probably the man of the match one day. Scored a penalty. Was great with a hold-up play all game, pretty much, wasn't he? So,
do you think Arsenal will finish above Spurs?
I'd love to see it.
It's happened again, but
But I really, really want Spurs to lose everything this season. I can't wait for them to lose in the final. The League Cup, the League Cup final. I can't wait for them to lose in the League Cup final.
They could do. I mean, if they kick on from this derby win, and you never know,
Arsenal could have a late surge up the table. Before, haven't they?
You should do it.
Because obviously they had probably the worst start of top 6 clubs. I think you talk about worst.
They were relegation candidates at the start.
I mean, you talk about worst starts. They reversed at the starting line. They didn't go forward.
They just stopped. Just waited for everyone to get an.
They didn't have an engine in their car. So now they're obviously making up for lost time and stuff like that. And obviously you don't get more games. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, I think Spurs now with Son injured as well. I don't know how long he's out for and stuff like that. But we'll have to see what happens with football after the international break.
Yeah.
That's it.
Zlatan will be back as well.
Yeah, I mean,
a final question.
Yeah.
We need your predictions. We did it last week.
Okay.
I mean, we need your predictions for the Euro. Who's going to win the Euros? Who's going to win the Champions League? And who's your Euro dark horse for the Euros? Obviously.
Okay, so
I mean, you can guess your dark horse already.
I'd love to. You know, the delusional me, you know, my heart is saying Poland, but I think, look at it, maybe Sweden was right. I don't know, maybe. There's always, you know, that's the thing about dark horse. You don't know who is it because they'll just turn up at the Euros. You know, Denmark back in the 90s, and they'll just win it. But yeah, when it comes to who will win overall, I think, you know, France. I think the main favourites. Spain will be in there. I think. A bit kind of, if I can pick two, I'd say Spain and France. I reckon they'll be in it. Look, I think, and then Champions League, you say as well.
Yeah, Champions League and Europa League.
Yeah, so I'll say Bayern.
Yeah,
I reckon they can.
Best striker in the world, give me credit to it. Yeah.
I know I'm a bit biased here, but yeah, I think Bayern and Europa League. I'd say it's hard to say. I'd say maybe United might be in for a shout. I think, you know. OAC, I think. There's a few teams in there, so I'm not really quite sure who's still in it. But
I think Europa League's either heading to a team in Italy or a team in England. I think that they've got the strongest teams there. I'm trying to get any strong Spanish sides in there. I don't think so.
Valencia missed out, didn't they?
Yeah. It's Granada, I think.
I think it is.
Yeah, they knocked out Napoli, so
Maybe. And then maybe that team that knocked out Leicester. I forgot their name.
What, Slavia Prague?
They've got Rangers, I think.
I mean, you never know, do you? Rangers even. Rangers are having a great season. They might be a nice little dark horse for at least the semis. And I mean, Rangers in the final would be great. I mean, we'd all enjoy that. That'd be a great game. Seeing Rangers back to, seeing Scottish football back to what it used to be.
And Stevie G probably heading the line.
Challenging again. I'd love to see it. Anyway. Thank you for listening or watching this episode of Chatting Ball with Sam and Ahmed. Thanks, Marcel.
Thank you.
And see you next week.
See you,
Cheers.